Number 9. The oldest champagne bottle. Alex Dawson is a professional diver and underwater photographer who has captured numerous amazing and mysterious sights beneath the ocean. In an interview with Oceanographic magazine, Dawson said diving in Greenland was one of the best experiences he's ever had. He was able to photograph the sparkling displays of the sunbeams penetrating through the thick ice blanket above him. On another occasion, he was diving through a wreck when he came across a seal hiding within it, giving both him and the marine creature a fright. However, his most amazing discovery came when he explored a wreck that he and his friends found at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The wreck was filled with all sorts of debris and cargo, creating a treasure trove of items for Dawson and his team to photograph and document. In the debris, they discovered a bunch of bottles. Dawson took pictures, lighting them from behind to reveal the details in the murky depths. Surprisingly, they found over 90 bottles of the world's oldest champagne, aged at least 200 years. We're not sure how good it would taste after being underwater for so long, but we bet someone was brave enough to give it a shot. Would you be willing to try it? Number 8. Forni Ship Graveyard. In 2015, archaeologists in Greece made a groundbreaking discovery. Off the coast of the Forni archipelago, they found a massive ship graveyard. The find actually increased the total number of known shipwrecks in Greece by 12%. The ships range in age from ancient wrecks from 700 BC all the way through the 16th century. Many of the artifacts found are helping to shape new ideas about the way that ancient Greeks traded. For example, they found new examples of amphorae. They were ancient Greek vessels and jars that were still in incredible condition. Previously, the only examples of them were found as small fragments at archaeological sites inland. Amphorae are great insights into the way that the ancient Greeks lived, as they were used to store and transport all manner of items, from oil to wine and even fish sauce, which was popular in the region at the time. By analyzing the insides of the amphorae and the unique markings on them, historians have been able to piece together trade routes long lost to time. So why are there so many shipwrecks located at Forni? The archipelago isn't a bustling trade port. Instead, it's known for the adverse weather and sea conditions around it. It formed part of one of the major sea channels and trade routes of the ancient world, and so inevitably many ships over the centuries met their ends here, along with their cargoes. The sheer volume of shipwrecks found was hard for the team to keep up with and document. Peter Campbell, who worked on the project as part of the RPM Nautical Foundation, even stated that they could have easily found 30 to 40 more wrecks within just a few more weeks. Number 7. The Baltic Sea spaceship. In 2011, a Swedish group of treasure seekers known as the Ocean X Team uncovered something unexpected on the floor of the Baltic Sea. What they discovered appeared to have unusual patterns and steps, almost as if it were designed by extraterrestrial beings. The sonar images look uncannily like a downed spacecraft. Think the iconic Millennium Falcon of Star Wars. Peter Lindbergh, one of the deep-sea explorers, chose to keep the object's location a mystery. However, he did have some intriguing speculations about its nature. One belief of his? If the object was indeed made by humans, then it must have existed before the last ice age 20,000 years ago. Lindbergh then linked this timeline to the mythical city of Atlantis, considering the lost civilization of legend to be a potential explanation as to the strange man-made shape of the object. His other theory was that it could have come from a meteorite impact. Experts examined details of the object but remained puzzled. After careful study, geologists have dismissed the idea that it was made by volcanic activity, while others have different ideas about what it may be. Several scientists couldn't voice an opinion at all due to insufficient sample materials provided by the Ocean X team, mostly sandstone, granite, and gneiss, which would only give them limited results. Definitely not enough to be able to come to a definitive conclusion. The sonar images failed to help either. It lacks quality necessary to provide clear answers. The best theory they can come up with is that the strange object is simply a rock formation that coincidentally looks man-made, likely formed by the shifts caused during the Ice Age. Though again, this is simply their best guess, so no one really knows for certain. Perhaps it is a sunken spaceship after all. Number 6. Beaufighter Plane. Half a mile off the coast of Naxos Island, part of Greece's Cyclades island group, is the wreck of a Beaufighter plane resting 111 feet underwater. The plane went down during World War II, and it's not the only aircraft of its type in the area, since other bullfighters went down nearby the Cyclades. But this plane is the most popular one thanks to its amazing condition despite its watery landing. Experts were even able to figure out that the plane's propellers were still working when it initially hit the water, so it really must have been an urgent landing. Thankfully, the crew on board were all rescued at the time. Despite this, the Beaufighter lies perfectly flat on the seabed, almost as if the pilot tried to land it there. The fighter crashed on October 30th, 1943. It, along with another plane from the British RAF, was flying alongside two American B-25 Mitchell bombers from the island nation of Cyprus. They managed to take down two enemy ships before getting gunned down. The planes sat at the bottom of the seabed undiscovered until June 3, 2007, when clues from a local sponge diver and some elderly citizens nearby were used to try and find it. Nowadays, the site is a popular diving destination for those with adventurous spirits. Number 5. A glowing purple orb. Researchers were exploring the Arguello Canyon off the coast of Southern California in July 2016 when they discovered something incredibly strange on the camera feed. Using the specialized exploration vessel Nautilus, they were able to view the bottom of the ocean floor at a depth of about 5,301 feet. In doing so, they spotted a strange-looking purple orb that seemed to glow. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before. Naturally, as any good scientist would do, they collected the orb up so that they could give it a closer inspection on the surface. The sphere was around 2 inches in size. It wasn't completely flat and smooth, instead being made of multiple lobes that made it appear to researchers at the Harvard Museum of Zoology like some sort of alien brain. It also had features that resembled a sea slug, otherwise known as a pleurobranch. The color of the orb was also something that mystified scientists. Up until that point, all of the sea slug species that we know of around the California area were not purple, so the chances are that the team managed to discover a previously unknown species. Number 4. The Gulf Shipwreck. In the Gulf of Mexico, there's a shipwreck that's been there for over 200 years, and it's said to have a cursed reputation. ExxonMobil discovered it in 2001 while placing an oil pipeline half a mile under the waves. Researchers from Texas A&M University decided to explore it using new robotic submarine technologies. Land researcher Brett A. Phaneuf faced challenges during their investigation in January 2003 with Deep Marine Technology, Inc. Their small research sub encountered issues at a depth of 3,000 feet, jamming extendable leads, video feed problems, and sonar malfunctions. Despite these setbacks, they located the ship, finding timber speared through the bottom and copper nailed to the hull. The aim was to pry off some copper, a clue about the ship's identity. Copper protection was used by the British Navy in the late 18th century, stopping in the mid-19th century. The leading theory was that the ship participated in the 1812 Battle of New Orleans. Unfortunately, as they grabbed the copper plate, it ripped, leaving only a small fragment. During another attempt in July 2003, the U.S. Navy's NR-1 submarine faced challenges, with a robot submarine swerving unexpectedly and colliding with the ship. The manned NR-1, while more successful, couldn't reach desired artifacts due to short robotic arms. An attempt to grab the stern post excited scientists, but a hydraulic failure at 100 feet from the surface caused it to sink again. Despite a 2-day search, it was never recovered. A research ship from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Sustainable Sea Program planned to retrieve artifacts, but faced propeller issues, requiring dry dock repairs. Despite multiple attempts, the shipwreck revealed little, with Professor Phaneuf and colleagues recovering only a small, ripped scrap of copper. The secrets of this shipwreck seem determined to remain hidden. Do you think the wreck at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico is cursed? Number 3. The Milky Sea. In 1864, the CSS Alabama ship had an unusual experience while sailing. The dark sea suddenly turned into a glowing, milky spectacle, surprising the captain, Raphael Semmes. He described it as if the ship was in a phantom sea with an eerie light. Back then, sailors were extremely superstitious. They found such phenomenon frightening, believing it might be another peril at sea. Today, we have a scientific explanation for this occurrence known as Mareal. It's caused by bioluminescent bacteria that gather in large numbers, creating the glowing effect. Advanced technology, like sensors detecting low levels of light emitted by the bacteria, helped scientists like Stephen Miller from Colorado State University observe and document Mareal. In 1995, Miller received a report from the vessel Lima sailing off Somalia, witnessing a white glow spreading across the sea. Using satellite technology, Miller observed the bacteria covering an area of over 15,000 square kilometers, equivalent to the size of Connecticut. This sheds light on the mysterious Milky Seas sailors encountered in the past. Number 2. The Bloop. Back in 1997, scientists were listening for underwater volcanic activity in the southern Pacific Ocean when they heard a strange and incredibly loud sound. The sound didn't just occur once and in one location either. Their hydrophones, which were strategically placed over 2,000 miles across the Pacific, captured numerous occurrences of this mysterious noise. Due to the way that it sounded, the scientists affectionately nicknamed it the Bloop, a name that sounds rather innocent considering they had no idea exactly what was making this ungodly noise under the sea. This then sparked an investigation by the NOAA Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory, or PMEL, into what was exactly making this noise. This was no mean feat, as with only 5% of the ocean being known and documented, that leaves 95% of it completely unknown to science, as well as the potential source of the Bloop. Of course, these led to some crazy theories about what it could be, including underwater espionage, whales, giant squids, or perhaps even a creature previously unknown to man. The mystery went unsolved for over 8 years, despite PMEL trying their hardest to figure out exactly what the Bloop was. They placed even more hydrophones around the Antarctic region, using their knowledge of seafloor volcanoes and earthquakes to help them. Eventually, in 2005, they had their answer. The Bloop was in actual fact an icequake, which occurs when a large iceberg breaks free from a glacier. Although a lot more benign than other speculations about the Bloop's origins, the discovery still provides a stark warning about the growing frequency of icequakes and their links to global warming. Number 1. The Coelacanth. On December 22, 1938, Marjorie Courtney Latimer, the curator of the East London Museum in South Africa, received an unexpected call from Captain Hendrik Goosen. She had asked local fishermen to inform her of any unusual catches for research and exhibition. Goosen had something exciting to show her. On Goosen's ship, Courtney Latimer saw a fish caught in a trawler net that looked like a 5-foot china ornament. It had delicate blue scales with white flecks, fins resembling limbs, and a tail that seemed more like a puppy dog's than a fish's. Intrigued, she contacted James Smith from Rhodes University, an expert in such matters, but he was on holiday. Undeterred, she sent him a description and a sketch in the mail. Facing the challenge of preserving the fish until Smith returned, Courtney Latimer struggled due to the southern hemisphere's summer heat. Refrigeration options were limited, and places like the morgue weren't interested in storing it. In desperation, she worked with a local taxidermist to wrap the fish tightly in formaldehyde-soaked rags and newspaper to slow its deterioration. When Smith finally received Courtney Latimer's letter on January 3rd, he reached the museum on February 16th. Upon seeing the specimen, he confirmed his suspicions. Courtney Latimer had discovered a coelacanth, a species believed to be extinct for over 70 million years. This groundbreaking find led to the scientific name Latimeria chalumenae, honoring Courtney Latimer and the river where it was found. Since then, a few more living coelacanths have been discovered worldwide, making them truly living fossils. Thanks for watching. Which one of these underwater discoveries did you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.